Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, and welcome back to today's second half. Before we get into today's terrifying upload, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below, my merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help and it does matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's second half. Shall we? Today's only part of the upload is a documented experience with a crawler. I'm writing this on March 23rd, 2021 at 7:41 in the morning. A little over a week ago, I started seeing lights coming from the woods directly behind my home. I'm prone to insomnia, having a nocturnal biorhythm, so I go outside at night and often walk the dog, look at the stars, and just enjoy it. I didn't think much of the lights when I first noticed them. You can sometimes see headlights through the trees from the not-too-distant road as it drives by. But these lights were not just driving through, they appeared to be glowing sets of eyes. I thought to myself it must just be the wildlife, until more pairs of lights started to appear. I kept watching them and realized that they were moving and not in a natural way. There were 2 or 3 sets of eyes near the ground, 1 or 2, about 7 to 8 feet from the ground. They kind of all darted around and swung between the trees. I'm an empath, a rather highly tuned one. At that, and I don't mean that in a bragging manner, once I focused on the eyes, I knew I felt intelligent beings. None posed a threat, though the tallest one had a minor anxiety. My hypothesis is that it's a family group, and the tallest one is the parental figure. Once I felt there was no threat, I telepathically said to the tallest one, "If you mean no harm, you may approach me." It most certainly received the message. These eyes started to get closer. As they approached, they swung back and forth, as if on a lanky body. I'm ashamed to admit the adrenaline was pumping so hard I told it to stop, and I went back into the house. It complied. Since then, I have gone out almost every night, and I've seen them most nights in varying numbers. The purpose of this is for me to record my experiences. The location. I live in Georgia, in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain, in a rural neighborhood. Each house in the area sits on a few acres each, so next-door neighbors aren't always directly next to one another, and often have shared wooded areas with their neighbors and or fields in between the houses. This is the case for my area. They have recently been thinning out the woods in the area, and I think this may be a factor as to why I'm seeing these beings now. We also just had a spring equinox, which could be a factor. There's also a cave system in the area with a known underground water source. I don't know where any of the cave openings are exactly, but there is one that my mother knows of that's to the south of here, about a quarter of a mile, that's either on or near my brother's property. Empath and telepathic observations. The beings do not feel like a threat. They are intelligent, have familiar instincts, and are able to receive telepathic messages. However, if I am not emotionally or energetically grounded, then they do not appear to receive the message, or more likely, they choose not to approach while I am in an emotional state. I have been practically emotional due to the sudden loss of one of my cats. Now that I am mostly healed, I want to share this document. Physical observations, they only appear at night, though the time of night does not seem to matter. I have yet to see anything except their eyes. All of them have the same eyes. To clarify, what I assume are their eyes. They are large, perfectly round, and glow yellow. Their eyes are not reflecting light. They are producing light, which could indicate that they must live in darkness. I feel confident in this because I don't take any source of light with me when I walk outside at night. We had storms one of the nights. I had been observing them, and lightning flashed. The two I was observing ran away, knowing that there is a cave system in the area as well as a granite shelf above which my house was built, and an underground stream that runs beneath the shelf. I've come to the preliminary conclusion that these beings live underground, and I believe that as a result, light may be painful for them, which makes me want to delay taking photographs, though I do hope one day, or maybe even a video. My delay is also due to my belief that these are intelligent beings, and if they are as intelligent as I believe, I want to remain diplomatic. I initially thought they were temperature sensitive to cold. The first several nights I saw them, the temperature only went down to around 60. Then the temperature dropped down into the 50s. I didn't see them that night. However, they did show back up the next night when the temperature was around 54, and again the next night when it was 46. Skippy is my dog. He's always outside with me. He has a gift for seeing a lot of things that I can only feel, and for sensing things sooner than I sense them. I also trust his instincts. Hypothesis: I believe these are intelligent beings that have been living underground. I believe they are non-human, but maybe humanoid in structure. I think that if they intended to hurt me or my family, that they would have done so by now. But that has yet to be proven. I am not a scientist, so I apologize to anyone who is hearing this for this not following strict scientific guidelines on collecting info. I'm doing my best to provide anything I think is useful. Journal entries, March 23rd, 2021, 2:40 a.m. There was a single set of eyes out tonight. They stayed close to the ground, so perhaps this one is shorter/smaller, or perhaps it was trying to hide from me and did not realize I could see its eyes. I felt mild anxiety from it, so I did not approach or push a meeting. Temperature was 58 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy skies, breezy. Skippy was alert, but not scared. Felt no other entities or energies around me at the time. March 26th, 2021, 10:15 p.m. Went outside at 10, but sadly I saw no eyes in the woods. I can't say I'm surprised, though. The closest neighbor had been hooting and hollering and driving a dirt bike for a couple of hours. Then he left loudly while I was outside. Perhaps another trip outside later will be in order. Temperature 62 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, light breeze. Moon was waxing gibbous, 94%, and very bright when not behind clouds. This may be another factor in whether I see them again or not. I have been unwell the last several nights and did not go outside, hence the lack of entries. I am concerned this may have caused them to leave, but I'm not going to give up hope. Skippy was acting normal, calm, going potty, sniffing around, being a dog. March 28th, 2021, 1:56 a.m. Went outside at around 1:40 in the morning. I saw no eyes and could feel no trace of energy. The moon is very bright again tonight, Even though it's cloudy, the clouds are thin and the moon has everything fairly well lit, especially considered it's the middle of the night. I think I do recall it being rather dark on all the nights I saw these creatures, but I can't say for sure that I'm remembering correctly. Hopefully, time will tell. Temperature, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Thin clouds or some kind of light level fog. Calm breeze. Moon in 100% illumination full, very bright. Dimmed slightly by clouds. March 29th, 2021, 2:13 a.m. Went outside at around 1:40 again. Saw no eyes first, but attempted to telepathic message to let them know I was out there. Immediately, I heard rustling in the trees and brush, and a set of eyes showed up. However, while looking at me, they lowered themselves to the ground. I felt no threat, so I attempted another telepathic message to let them know I mean no harm, as long as they also mean no harm. Immediately, the eyes came back up a little, but they kept disappearing and reappearing in slightly new spots. My guess is that they are moving around, maybe trying to get a better look at me, maybe trying to hide themselves better. It didn't want to come out of the woods, and I'm clearly certain not going into the woods, nor am I going to try to drag them out. I also heard movement from the woods a bit more to the north of me, and it sounded like something large was walking through the trees and shuffling through the dead leaves and brush. And it was loud, especially for how far away it was, 50 to 60 yards. Nothing was actually showing up in the loud shuffling sound. So I sent a final message saying that I understood if they did not want to come out and that I would see them another night. Then went back into the house. Temperature 50 degrees Fahrenheit, windy, mostly cloudy. Moon in a waning gibbous, 99% bright, but dimmed a good bit. Felt no threat, but I did feel a slight unease from the direction of the eyes. Skippy was alert, barked, but was unconcerned with what was in the woods, and more concerned about something he saw as we headed back into the house that I was unable to identify. Didn't see or hear anything he was just barking at. He acted normal otherwise. March 30th, 2021, 12:01 p.m., noon. No report. Felt unwell last night, so I stayed in and slept, rested, hoping for a better night tonight. 10 p.m., just a quick note. I just took Skippy out for a walk, but decided to have a look while I was outside. Felt them, but didn't see them. Right about that time, though, the neighbor to the south got home, which reminded me that they usually get home around this time. Perhaps these beings have some kind of knowledge of time or timing. Definitely something I want to keep my eye on. March 31st, 2021, 9:45 p.m. Took Skippy out for this evening walk, so I decided to have a look. Sadly, saw no eyes. It's been raining a lot on and off since last night, with some storms. It's all past now, but it's still really wet outside, plus the temperatures dropped quickly because of the cold front that caused the rain. If I manage to stay awake late, or I can't sleep, I'll go back out and have another look. Temp 50 degrees, windy, cloudy, wet, but no longer raining. Moon in a waning gibbous, 87%, not risen yet, so it's still very dark outside. I felt energy from something, but I think it was just a wild animal. Skippy was normal. April 1st, 2021, 10:15 p.m. Just had to take Skippy out for his walk. Decided to look. Once again, no sight of them. Pretty sure 10 p.m. is just too early, which is understandable because most humans are in their homes for the night. I'm just a weirdo that has trouble sleeping at night and often sleeps in the day as a result. Temp 43, windy, partly cloudy, moon in a waning gibbous, 82%, not risen yet, so dark outside, nothing out of the ordinary to note. April 4th, 2021, 3:01 a.m. Went outside at around 2:30, didn't see any lights, but heard some minor movement and felt some energies. But I didn't think it was them. Spooky was alerted to something in the direction. Skippy, was alerted to something in the direction we normally see them through, though. Temperature 44, calm wind, clear sky. Moon in last quarter 50% not risen, so it's dark. Skippy was attentive to the area where I normally see the eyes appear from, but was otherwise unfazed. 5th, 2021, 12:30 a.m. Went outside at around 12:20. Didn't see anything, sadly, but energetically I felt and still feel overwhelmed. It was like being at a huge party where there's standing room only. This isn't uncommon for me to experience, though I can't say for sure what I'm feeling exactly, but the party metaphor is the best I can do to explain it. I also heard distant voices. I'm pretty sure it was just my neighbors being noisy. Temp 57, calm wind, clear sky, moon in a waning crescent, 39%, not risen yet, Skippy unfazed. 10:03 p.m. I was wrong about 10 p.m. being too early. Just came in from walking Skippy and saw a single pair of eyes, or lights, moving, watching us. Skippy took absolutely no notice. I don't know if that means it's all in my head, or if they are so peaceful they didn't even make a blip on his radar, or he just needed to poop. I felt anxiety from it, so I attempted telepathy with it. I told it that it didn't have to fear me and that I'd be back later if the tall one wants to be there. Will that work? Only time will tell. My night vision monocular came today, but I haven't had a chance to learn to use it, so here's hoping they will stay out a little bit while I try to figure it out. Temp 67, calm wind, clear sky. Moon, a waning crescent, 39%, not risen yet. 10:16 p.m. No monocular tonight. It did not include batteries. I'm not so good at this. April 6th, 2021. I went back outside to see if they were around. I didn't see any lights, but I did experience something strange. I was just standing there looking where I see them, and just glancing around to see if maybe they were in another spot when this feeling rushed over me. Actually, it felt like it was rushing over my brain. It went from the right side to the left side like a mild pressure combined with my ears ringing really hard for a couple of seconds. Then it passed. I have experienced similar feelings before, but this stands out among those experiences, and I'm not sure why or how. My head hurt a little, felt a little dizzy. It's getting better. My first thought when the feeling and ringing in my ears passed was to see if I had lost any time. I had not, as only minutes had passed according to the clock. Plus, I have a pot of peanuts boiling on the stove. I had just added more water to it before I went outside, which slowed the boil down. When I came back in, it hadn't started to boil quite yet. If I had lost time, they would have boiled hard again and shown significant water loss. Skippy appeared to be unaffected, and even one of my cats ran up to join us. Temp 58, calm wind, clear sky, moon waning crescent, 29%, not yet risen. April 8th, 2021, 2:46 a.m. I went out at 2:30 in the morning. I didn't see a pair of lights, but I did hear a tremendous amount of movement in the woods, as well as a pack of coyotes that were probably a half-mile away, give or take. I did, however, keep seeing flashing lights on the top of the trees. While fireflies are common here, they are not out of hibernation yet. Plus, they have a fade-in, fade-out display while their lights are in the trees, which flash quickly in random spots. Now, the tops of these trees are pretty tall because they're mostly pine, up about 200 feet. I saw these lights earlier this evening, but I figured I was just seeing moving stars through the treetops. But as I moved around, I couldn't find any visible sky for that to be the source. This could be some natural phenomena that I am simply unfamiliar with, but I don't recall ever seeing anything quite like that before. Temp 66, calm wind, light clouds, Moon in waning crescent, 8%, not yet risen. Skippy was definitely alert, presumably because he was barking in the direction of where they were howling. April 10th, 2021, went out 1:07 a.m. Went outside a little before 1 in the morning, but no sighting and nothing out of the ordinary. Temp 63, calm wind, cloudy, humidity 80%, rain in the forecast. Moon in a waning crescent, 1%, not yet risen yet. Nothing out of the ordinary with Skippy. 5:14 a.m. Went out at 5 in the morning. No signs, though I did feel like I was being watched. Temp 63. Breezy, cloudy, humid. No rain yet. Moon still not risen. April 13th, 2021. 1:59 a.m. Went outside at around 1:45 a.m., but there was nothing out of the ordinary. Tried out my night vision monocular a little bit, but I could only get clear images up close, so I have to learn how to use these a little better, maybe study the manual. Heard a cougar and a fox. Probably not relevant, but I thought it was cool. Temp 55, very light breeze, clear sky, humidity 60%. Moon in waxing crescent, 4%, not visible. Skippy behaved normally. April 15th, 2021, 1:16 a.m. Went outside at 12:30 a.m., but saw nothing, felt nothing out of the ordinary. I meant to report the same thing last night, but I got distracted and forgot to do my write-up. I'm worried they have left the area, but I can't say for sure where they are. Like I've said before, them leaving may actually be a blessing in disguise, but at the time, I keep feeling disappointed every time I go outside that they are not here. I keep asking myself questions. Did they leave? Will they be back? Did they lose interest? Did they get scared off? Why did they leave if they did? Does it have to do with the season getting warmer? Only time will tell, but until then, my mind shall continue to race. Temp 63, light breeze, partly cloudy, humidity 81%. Chance of rain later. Moon in a waxing crescent, 14%, not visible. Skippy behaved normally, though he did bark and try to chase a possum, technically an opossum, but we typically just call them possums. This might be a factor if the beings were around at all and then left, but I don't feel any energies like theirs. 4:11 a.m. Took Skippy out for a walk. Saw no lights, but I did feel like I was being watched, and Skippy was very interested in something coming from the same direction. Honestly, though, I think it was just our unofficial pet possum. He's not really a pet, but he showed up last autumn, injured and starving, so we fed him cat food. Then it learned how to get on the enclosed porch through the cat flap to get more food every night. Now he stays close to the house because if he can't get enough food on his own, he'll get some of the cats. Needless to say, it was not a threatening vibe. Skippy just gets excited because he was bred to be tracking and hunting. I did not breed him. He just showed up at my house and wouldn't leave. No tag, no chip. So chasing is a major instinct for him. Temp 61, light breeze, mostly normal. Humidity 90%, no rain yet. Moon in a waxing crescent, 14%, not visible. Skippy was pulling hard against the leash in the direction I felt I was being watched. 4:11 a.m. Took Skippy out for a walk. Saw no lights, but I did feel like I was being watched. Skippy was very interested in something from the same direction. Honestly, though, I think it's just our unofficial pet possum. He's not a pet, but he showed up last autumn, injured and starving, so we fed him cat food. Then it learned to get in the enclosed porch through the cat flap to get more food every night. Now he stays close to the house because if he can't get food on his own, he'll come and get some cat food. Needless to say, it wasn't a threatening vibe. Skippy just gets excited because he was bred to be a tracking and hunting dog. So chasing is a major instinct for him. Temperature 61, light breeze, mostly cloudy, humidity 90%, No rain yet. Moon in waxing crescent, 14%, not visible. Skippy was pulling hard against the leash in the direction I felt being watched. April 18th, 2021. 5:52 a.m. I haven't been writing reports because I haven't seen or even felt them. For the moment, they appear to be gone. Between an allergic reaction, an injured foot, and depression, I just couldn't make myself keep writing reports on nothing. They're gone. Will they ever come back? Is it better they're gone? I don't know. I do know I feel empty without something to look forward to. Even if it was a bit scary at times, I count myself lucky to have experienced something. Hell, one could even say I survived an encounter, though as far as I could tell, they were never really much of a risk. I'm very conflicted about how I feel, to say the least. I don't think I'll continue writing reports of not seeing them. It feels like a failure every time I do. If I do see them again, I will write reports. Temp 53, light breeze, partly cloudy, humidity 69%, moon waning crescent 31%. Skippy was normal. April 24th, 2021, 4:34 a.m. Still no sightings, and I haven't felt anything out of norm. Maybe the equinox was more important than I realized. Perhaps I'll see them again around the summertime solstice. Until then, I'll keep an eye out. Still want to look into maybe getting a trail cam or two, but as always, money is a factor, so I'll take time. Plus, I don't know a thing about trail cams. May 6th, 2021, 10:48 p.m. Still no sighting to report, but I am still looking for them. I saw a pair of tiny white glowing eyes at the barn. I'm like 99.9% certain that was just the opossum, as we have one or two that stay near the house, but seeing them made me want to just type a little update. I'm pretty dang disappointed that I haven't seen them in so long, but I'm also always aware that at night that it may be in my best interest that they haven't been around. Still sad though. I've come across so many cryptids in my life, and these are the first to show up multiple times. Plus, these were also the first to openly observe me as I observed them. I've had other encounters where I could very easily feel their presence, but if I saw them, it was with my third eye, which people don't tend to like hearing about because you can't prove you saw something with your third eye. This was a chance to gather some physical proof, but it just didn't make any sense or work for me. I'm concerned that they left because I got my monocular, but to get a better look at them. They obviously had some kind of intelligence, so leaving may have been more in their interest rather than my own, which I can't argue. Just because they're an unknown doesn't mean I want harm to come to them, and I'm glad they appear to actively protect themselves. Fingers crossed I'll see them again someday. September 23rd, 2021, 5:40 p.m. I haven't had any sightings during the spring or summer, but we've reached the autumn equinox, so I hope to see something soon if they're still around. I have no clue if the equinox will change anything, but it was around the spring when I saw them. So I'll just keep my hope that this equinox may bring them back. February 7th, 2022, 12:37 p.m. Apologies for lack of updates. Soon after the equinox, one of the beings showed up, but I lost my internet for a few months around that time. Then I got out of the habit. I'm 99.9 certain this is a crawler. The pictures online, the shared experiences, and my experiences have helped me narrow it down to that with confidence. It shows up pretty much any night that doesn't have moonlight. It never approaches me, but Since the eyes glow, I can easily see them watching me. And just to note, I don't approach it either. It seems to prefer colder temperatures because it appears to be more active when it's cold. I do appear to be communicating with it telepathically. For example, last night at around 2:30, I went outside, looked at the woods around me. Didn't see those eyes. I focused on what images of crawlers I had seen online. Then, while thinking what I wanted to say, I sort of pushed the message to them. I simply said, "Are you over there?" I just wanted to say hello. Immediately, the eyes appeared. I attempted to say, "There you are, hi. I hope you are well." Then, when I went back into the house, I said goodbye. I don't recommend anyone trying to do this, though. Some of the anecdotal evidence I have read seem to point to crawlers being bad. However, there seem to be more scenarios where the crawler is simply observing and being curious. Another experience one morning at around 5:30, I was of course outside. However, it turns out the crawler, who I will call Carl from this point forward, was on the other side of the car, parked in the driveway. I did not see it, but there was this weird click, 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 click sound, and I was in a state of confusion until I heard a crash in the woods. I believe that it was looking at this piece of cable sticking out of the ground with a big box and a safety cone. There's a different ISP starting to finally lay cable, which jumped my ISP and finally fixed my internet. But I digress. So I obviously managed to startle it, and it could have killed me. But instead, it just sort of momentarily disabled me and ran away. I just want to note that I know some people are going to think this is crazy. I'm bat crazy, especially with telepathy. I genuinely feel that I have this ability and that I can create some kind of communication with this being. I doubt it's anything very complex, but they react to my attempts at communication every time. That pretty much has everything caught up, except for recording the atmospheric conditions, which I plan to continue. February 9th, 2022, 5:40 a.m. Took both Skippy and Rocco, my other dog that mostly stays with my mom since her hip replacement. Saw Carl, the crawler's eyes shining at me. I attempted to send a friendly hello and went on my way. Neither dog noticed nor cared, but I felt a little anxiety from Carl, so I just let the dogs do their business and went back in. Last thing I want is to scare something that's bigger and stronger than myself. You never know if they experience fight or flight. Temp 34, no wind, mostly clear sky, moon not visible, no reactions from either dogs, but I felt mild anxiety coming from Carl. Probably because I rarely take Rocco out with me, and Skippy was barking at the neighbor's dog. February 19th, 2022, 8:55 p.m. Haven't seen him in several days now, but the full moon kept the nights rather bright until last night, but it was raining. Tonight I didn't see him, but I felt something. I'm pretty sure it was the same being, but they were definitely afraid of me. Temp 47, no wind, partly cloudy, no moon, nothing out of the ordinary from Skippy. February 22nd, 2022, 11:39. Initially, I didn't really see anything when we went out, but my dog wanted to walk around a little and started leading us vaguely toward the spot where I've always seen the eyes, and for a second I thought I saw the light they produce. I thought it was probably just the crawler noticing. We got a little closer and just shifted to watch or hide better or something. As soon as I noticed it, I stopped letting my dog go in the direction, and there was nothing else to the situation. Temp 64, light breeze, partly cloudy, no moonlight. Skippy was normal, and my cat Leo even joined us. February 25th, 2022, 5:20 a.m. After seeing him so regularly, I am a little surprised, disappointed that I have not seen him much in several days. Besides just a possible peek, I guess I am not completely surprised, though I started talking about him and crawlers in general a lot more, especially to my friends on the internet. If he is capable of telepathy, then me babbling my mouth could very well run him off, or maybe they just move around for whatever reason. I've also been thinking about attempting to get a photo. I really want to because it's an important part in attempting things like this. Temp 60, mildly calm, partly cloudy, no moon. February 27th, 2022, 8:34. First, I need to mention the other night, like 2 nights ago, I went outside, and while I didn't see any eyes, I could hear something big walking around the house across the road. Sounded a little bit like it was messing with me because it would walk away, then walk back toward me, then take a step away, then back toward me. Because it sounded so large, I decided to come back in the house. I wonder if it's the same 10-foot guy that showed up with the other crawlers last year. Tonight I didn't see Carl's usual eyes, but I did notice something glimpsing at me through the trees in the woods that are just north of my house. I could only see one light, though not a pair. I don't think it was Carl, but it could still be another crawler because the movements were similar. It seemed taller too, maybe 10 foot. Temp 47, light breeze, very cloudy, little fog, no moon. March 1st, 2022, significant occurrences this morning. I take Skippy out, and the second I walk out the door, I get an awful image in my mind of a crawler eating one of my cats. I am acquainted with telepathic attacks, so I visually violet flame, and it stopped. I took Skippy to his poop spot and saw multiple sets of eyes peeking from the trees. The foliage is starting to grow back, so it was a little more difficult to see them because they don't sit still where they are looking at you. But there were 2 at the spot and at least 1 in the woods just north. So pretty much, I'm just going to skip ahead. He had minor sightings, these eyes. He made an interesting notation, though, that they climb trees. And the thing about the reptilians creating crawlers, I thought it was kind of funny that he made his theory like it was etched in stone, which I don't think crawlers are. They may be physical, but I think what they are inorganic beings. And they feed on our fear. It's kind of funny that these creatures just disappeared on him. And, he almost a year to the day started seeing them again. It was just very strange. Very cool that he kept track of them as well, And I don't know. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. Just a crazy little. These things are strange, and I do think they are inorganic beings. And here's something crazy that I thought about. If they are inorganic beings and they feed on fear, and Dogman and Sasquatch are human-esque and possibly have a fear or happiness or whatever, maybe that's why, or maybe that's what they, Dogmen and these creatures are sometimes seen fighting. I don't know. It's crazy. It's a very crazy theory, scenarios. And I don't know. It's strange. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. And thank you.